How's it going today, everybody? My name is Bozeric. Welcome to this video where I will be ranking the Spider-Man worst to best. In this video, I will be taking a look at all the Spider-Man we've got over the recent years, mainly in films. However, I am including the one from the recent PlayStation 4 video game just to give some variety. So without further ado, let's get right into the list. Number 5 is Tom Holland's Spider-Man from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He could have been perfect. When they were making Spider-Man Homecoming, I was watching all the behind-the-scenes footage. I was following all this stuff for it, and I was praying, I was hoping he would be the perfect Spider-Man. He seemed to have the look, the wit, the charm, everything in Civil War set up perfectly, this identity of Spider-Man that could be something amazing, no pun intended. But when you got to Homecoming, they fucked it up. My big glaring problem is the fact that everything he does about being Spider-Man doesn't stem from a real reason. He does it mainly because he wants to prove something to someone, or he wants someone to be proud. He doesn't do it because he feels a weight of responsibility on top of him, or he feels guilt over someone. He just does it, I guess, because it's cool. The only time it's ever really referenced the idea that Uncle Ben died, or maybe someone died and he feels guilty for it, is in Civil War, where he says that people will get hurt, and if you don't do something, it's going to be someone you care about. And that's a good way to reference it in a movie that's not about him, but considering Homecoming was his film, they should have referenced those type of ideas a little bit more, or at least shown them. This version of Spider-Man really doesn't have much weight to him, and honestly has just been demoted to a fanboy and a sidekick. So, I'm sorry, Tom Holland, but number 5 is where you're going to sit for now. Number 4 is the Jake Johnson Spider-Man from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's nothing wrong with this version of Spider-Man, really. He's perfect. But maybe too perfect. He combines literally every version of Peter Parker's Spider-Man that we've seen before into this older, more mature, more established version. However, everything he does has been seen before, and everything new that he does bring, again, isn't that new or isn't that intriguing. There's nothing wrong with Jake Johnson's approach to the character. He in fact does it really well, a lot better than I kind of thought he would. But there's just nothing new that the character is given, and I can't blame Johnson for that, because he does his best with this character and blows it out of the park. It's just, there isn't anything new, so I can't really put him any higher on this list. So, sorry, Johnson, you're staying here at number 4. Number 3 is Andrew Garfield from The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Garfield gets a lot of shit for being a quote-unquote pretty boy, but I'm sorry, I think almost everyone who's played Spider-Man has been attractive in some way. And honestly, the character of Peter Parker isn't a bad-looking guy. I don't get why a lot of people give him flack for that. Yeah, he's a very attractive man, but so was Tom Holland, so is Jake Johnson, so is Maguire, so is all these other people. And I don't see you really giving him shit about it. A lot of people also talk bad about his movies, besides the obvious one of part 2. The first one I thought did a good job of bringing Spider-Man to this darker realm, and I really do admire the suit from that first film and wish they had kept it, or at least updated it a little bit, instead of going for that way too safe, accurate suit that they used in the second film. It's not a bad suit, but again, like my problem with Jake Johnson, it's too perfect. So, Andrew Garfield, you're an amazing Spider-Man, you had wasted potential, so unfortunately you're going to have to sit here at number 3. Number 2 is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man from the trilogy, the Sam Raimi trilogy, the Holy Trilogy, whatever the hell you want to call it. I can't think of really much that's wrong with these films. Obviously, Spider-Man 3 has its flaws. The original brought comic book movies back into the light, and the second, I'm sorry, I will call a masterpiece. Until someone proves me wrong. Until someone can make a better Spider-Man film, that will always be my number 1 film. And Tobey Maguire's performance of the character of not only Spider-Man but Peter Parker are done almost flawlessly. There's almost nothing wrong that I could say about him. There are a few things that I don't like, however, they're just tiny nitpicks. And he's overall a likable character. He's overall just a likable personality. He doesn't necessarily use a lot of the quips, but then again, he's a little more serious, so he doesn't need to. They appear every now and then, but they're not shoved in your face. I really like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and he's sitting here at number 2. However, the number 1 spot can only go to Yuri Lowenthal and John Bubniak from Marvel's Spider-Man PlayStation 4. The interesting thing about this is that he's technically played by 2 different people. The voice was done by Yuri Lowenthal, and the face was modeled after John Bubniak, and I think he even did the motion capture animation. Overall, what these guys do, brings the character right out of the comic books and adds new elements to him that make him fun, exciting, intriguing, and just overall the best Spider-Man in my opinion. He has the quips, he has the catchphrases, he has the drama, he has the emotion, he has the heart, he has everything a perfect Spider-Man should, but he also adds new things to the character and overall creates this version of Spider-Man that I wish existed in the MCU. I feel like this version of Spider-Man, could honestly team up with Tony Stark and maybe even rival him for being the smarter one in the room. There's just so much that you could do with this character, and I hope Marvel continues more with this type of game, this type of franchise, and I hope we get to see more of their rendition of Spider-Man. So what do you guys think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me in the comments below what you think, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe about what you guys want to see next time. This was Bozeric, and I'll see you all later.